Blue Sky faces its first LGBTQ safety test as users call for anti-trans podcaster Jesse Single ban. What has he done that would get him banned? Like, he is anti-trans, but being anti-trans shouldn't be enough to get you banned from social media. You have to do something on the social media platform, right? He literally posted medical info of a minor on Twitter. Yeah, that's Twitter. This is going to seem like a bit, or like I'm being obnoxious or something. Blue Sky will never hold up on its own as a platform if you guys, or if everyone's going to have a crisis of faith like this every time a reactionary makes an account. He's posted people's doxes. Has he done that on Blue Sky? It's supposed to be like a big social media site. Like, there are a lot of reactionaries out there. You can't do this every time. Wouldn't it be better to just like develop the culture of the site in a way where people like that don't get runaway attention? Like, are you going to do this every time? There's like a bajillion reactionaries. He's done things that break Blue Sky TOS since joining Blue Sky. Okay, but I just, like, no one said what though. Like, look, seriously, who cares? Blue Sky said they're not going to take action on his account, and he quote tweets with his response, 55 likes? Is this really worth having a... Like, this level of performative sensitivity probably weakens the site. Like, you expect the moderators to handpick the users? Like, 100 million people would have to be... Like, yeah. He's literally trying to be like a New Lives of TikTok, and he's currently failing, and if he f***s up and gets enough reports, he'll get banned. But I feel like... But absent that, if you're just trying to ban the guy for existing on the platform, you're giving him a ton of attention for nothing. He's getting a bunch of trolls to come on the platform. It depends on, like, specifically what he's doing. But so far, a lot of the people in chat are basically just saying, like, Blue Sky should ban him because of his off-platform actions, which I don't know if that's, like, a workable... you can't really do a giant social media website with that kind of moderation style. That's how you moderate, like, a Discord server with your friends, not a 25 million person. Like, if he f***s up and like violates the TOS in the context of the site itself, then kablamo, I guess. But I'm just saying, I don't think it's very workable to provide so much like free lolcow slop content to every reactionary who shows up on Blue Sky every time. Like, you know what I mean? Wouldn't it be better to just dog on them? If his off-platform stuff is illegal, they should be okay with that. Have you ever torrented a TV series? Should you be banned from all social media platforms for that? I don't understand what you're saying. There's this huge cohort of power users on Blue Sky who think the site is supposed to be their personal micro community. It's insufferable. Yeah, no, that's what you have to avoid, because otherwise, like, this is what dooms every other like niche politically biased social media platform, right? This is what happened with like Gab or whatever the fuck, you know, like all those other ones, right? Or Mastodon. It's you end up creating, like, it's people just treat it like their own private. It's what the left does broadly with its space, or what they used to bother me about before I demonstrated that I'm not going anywhere. While permanently banning Single would be easy enough to do if he violated Blue Sky's terms of service or guidelines, users say he has already begun harassing trans people on the site. Okay, so he hasn't done anything yet. Gotcha. This decision could put the social media company at risk with the FCC, since Brendan Carr, Trump's pick as the next head of the commission, has already said he plans to go after tech companies he thinks are censoring right-wing voices, the Washington Post reports. Right. A change.org petition to ban him from the site? Are you kidding me? A change.org petition? He got 50 likes or something on that quote tweet that he sent out hours ago. A change... Come on. What, do you want to throw a parade? Why not bring it to DC? Like, come on. It was shared by Lizzo and Bill from Bill and Ted. That's pretty... Okay. Wait, Bill from Bill and Ted? Okay. This is like free clout for him. 20,000 signatures. Man, you... okay, unironically, don't you think this is kind of how you guys lost Twitter? Like, if people are so weak that the only way they can preserve their not reactionary culture on a website is by petitioning the head honchos to, like, personally ban every single guy or whatever, don't you think it would be better to just, like, I'm just trying to imagine how this would look like in the opposite, like in the reverse, you know what I mean? Elon Musk bought Twitter and fired everyone. Are you high? Yeah, but that didn't make the site as shit as it is right now. The thing that made the site as shit as it is right now is the extremely aggressive posting from the Nazi types, far more so than like the left-leaning types, you know? It seems like this is like unironically a skill issue difference, where when the left has their own kind of like walled off enclave of social media, they start screaming mods when like a low-level reactionary dipshit Vaush, you have zero clue what's going on. Man, people are getting really mad over this, which makes me want to talk about it in more hyperbolic language. Vaush, you have zero clue what's going on, ignoring people who are saying he's doxing users, but it's okay because it's off-site. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, if it's off-site, then the social media company shouldn't ban them for it without like some extremely extenuating circumstances. Yeah, obviously. I'm not ignoring that. I've already said that. That's a stated position. Yeah, of course. You realize that if that's the rule you're going to set, you need the executives of your social media company to step in on every ban, right? You realize how insane that is? That's not a workable long-term solution. You're going to start moderating users and policing them based on like change.org petitions bringing attention to off-site activity. That's not workable in the long run. Yeah, like that's clearly not, like obviously violating the website's terms of service should be the actionable element without some like extremely extenuating circumstances. You have any idea what the overhead on that is going to be, like managing that, the social media company? Yeah, what is banning him even going to do if he's doxing people off-site? Like what exactly is that going to accomplish? Was Twitter wrong to ban Trump for January 6th? He was encouraging J6 via Twitter, and also that was the president of the United States. I don't think you guys understand what I'm talking about, and a lot of you are emotional, and I understand that. You can't all be cool, steely-headed bastions of logic like me, but what I'm talking about here is the scalability of a social media experience, of a website, of the administration and the moderation tools that they have. If you, hold on, wait, let's really quickly take a look at the maddest person here. Ah, the text, the logs haven't updated. We can't look. SFMTX, you gotta calm down a little bit, man. Fucking moron, LMFAO, extreme brain damage. I'm an asshole. Look at me, soy jack. Look at my own shit. I'm swimming in ha. People are mad, haha. Boshega, more shoe, moron. Do control F5. Will that close my browser? I don't trust you. It's not a meme. I don't trust you. The maddest person. I guess I just don't understand what people even want to do. It's not scalable to like every time a reactionary shows up on the site, you go mods. That just doesn't work, you know? I also don't understand what good you think you're doing when all you're accomplishing is providing an ungodly amount of attention to somebody who's getting no engagement on Blue Sky. Like, this is a person who's currently at the center of a change.org petition for their ban, and even in the midst of all that attention, they're still getting basically no on-site engagement, which kind of makes it seem like the only thing you're accomplishing is drawing attention to it from off-site platforms. Like, I don't know what's being accomplished here. You guys do realize that if Blue Sky is going to succeed in the long run, there will be reactionary accounts there, right? Like, how else could it be? You know that, right? Otherwise, it's always going to be a walled-off lefty enclave. If it's going to be a general-use social media website with a grounding to, like, build out and actually sustain itself rather than just being like a little bubble that pops, then it needs to not have a fucking meltdown every time someone odious goes on the site. Banning Jesse Singal will just fuel his victim complex. Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. Past a point, you're just like poking the dog turd with a stick, you know? Are you saying rules should only be enforced within their jurisdiction? I mean, if you want to scale a social media company to like a large, like really build it out, you can't be having the administration have to personally account for every right-leaning or controversial person on the website. Like, you can't every time have people petitioning and then having to give like a specific statement or issue. It's just so much work, and it really, really, really hurts the general usability of the site. Oh, your point, I never heard of Jesse Singal before any of this. Oh, he's a piece of shit. And a midwit, to be sure. The worst kind, you know, like the kind of dumbass who thinks that he's smart, so you have to cut through, like, obfuscating layers of nonsense before you get to the underlying bad point. I don't actually know who this person is. Well, I mean, I guess, isn't that kind of the point, too? It's not like this guy's, like, I don't know, fucking Matt Walsh or whatever, too. This, like, imagine what the meltdown would be if there was, like, a larger conservative figure who joined. It's like when Berkeley protesters went insane over Milo Yiannopoulos speaking there, and all that did was give them more attention. Yeah, my advocacy, my argument for shit like that has always been like, just don't show up to their speech. Like, you have a right winger going to like Berkeley or whatever. They're only going there to get a bunch of counter protesters angry so that they can take, you know, pictures and videos of like fat pink haired people jiggling up and down as they like express frustration at a Nazi speaking at their college, and then they get exactly what they want. Like, ignoring it is unironically better. Richard Spencer didn't stop doing his right-wing tours around the country because he got counter-protests. He stopped doing them because he stopped getting an audience. Unironically, look at some of the last speaking gigs that he did. prior to him more or less like melting off the face of the earth, you know, like leaving the public, you know, the public eye, and like not really trying anymore. There was like 3 people there. Wasn't it also because he got decked? No! Him getting decked was at the height of his popularity. That drew so much attention to him. Like, yeah, he experienced physical pain for like a minute or 2 minutes, but after that, he had a clip of an actual instance of unprovoked violence from a left-wing radical. You think he didn't get what he wanted from that? Just because it's satisfying to see him get decked doesn't mean that it's like politically efficacious. Didn't he say it wasn't very fun not long after that? Yeah, but the fun wasn't because of the punching. That's like wishful thinking. The lack of fun was because no one was showing up. He was on fucking CNN because of it. Yeah, that was like the most attention he ever got. There's a huge difference between what feels right or what feels good and what actually ends up benefiting you or the other side. And I gotta say, change.org petitions to ban Jesse Singal and his 5,000 follower account on Blue Sky may be satisfying to some of you, but they are not like being done to the benefit of the site, I feel. But does that really get attention? Yes. They love the attention. They love it more than like anything else in the world. I'm not even saying he can't be banned if he like does something that where like it's like objectively he breaks the rules on Blue Sky. Obviously, if he does ban him, but if it's literally just like, well, he's bad generally. It's the Nazi bar thing though, right? If you set the standard that Jesse Singal's shit isn't acceptable on Blue Sky, then you preemptively deal with a lot of what Vaush is talking about later. Not really, no, because in Jesse Singal's case, you have to do that through like direct litigation from the management of the social media platform, which you would then have to re-engage in for every other person to the right. Do you know how many people there are who are to the right of Jesse Singal? I just don't understand how it's controversial to say like block him and move on. I can complain about this more. He's block evading. I don't know. What do you mean? Why you reinforce the skepticism I have over this with the way you talk. And now Blue Sky has done a big thread here. I constantly see shit like this on my timeline. Yeah, you're really like gassing him up. Jesse Singal really ain't all that bad, you know? Sorry, wait, I should be clear. He's not all that bad in the sense that he ain't big, you know? He's bad like as a person, but he ain't all that big, you know? I feel like you're really gassing the man up. You misunderstanding. Queer folk are fundamental to emergent tech spaces / culture where builders with code or art and social structures fail to protect that and you risk collapsing pillar. You're not failing to protect queer people because right-leaning people or even reactionary writers can use the same social media website that you can. This quote tweet got more likes than his own, right? Because Richard Spencer was a random person on the street. What are you talking about? In the past month alone, over 12 million people joined Blue Sky, with daily active users growing 10 times. We received more reports in 2 days than in all of last year, and have integrated new systems and quadrupled our moderation team to try and keep up. Sometimes we have to work quickly to correct errors. We recently introduced a new system to detect impersonation, communications, growing moderation team. I'm arguing with nuts, not you. Oh, okay, I thought you were responding to me. We do not currently take action on accounts that share Blue Sky screenshots with commentary, unless that commentary violates our guidelines. This is not an acceptable response. Oh, brother. Using big words to cover your ass doesn't absolve you of letting TERFs and Nazis use your app. Again, like the frustrating thing for me is that I'm all doing this from the perspective of someone who wants as few right-leaning voices on social media as possible. The problem is just this behavior doesn't help at all, because the best case scenario for you would be creating a walled off enclave where you have your moderation hyper, like fastidiously scrutinizing everyone to make sure that even your off platform behavior is on the up and up. And what that means is like the inevitable death of the platform. Social media is contentious right now because life is contentious. Like the reason going online feels like a battle zone right now is because the school cafeterias are a battle zone. Like, you know, you like it's everywhere. You know, if you try to create a bit of a, you know, a bit of a hug box, I don't blame you for not wanting to share a social media site with like far right people, but I think you need a consistently applicable set of rules that everyone adheres to without special like moderator input. Because if you're relying on that, I don't know how that scales at all. Like that just seems really unworkable. I don't blame any of these people for wanting Blue Sky to be free of, you know, filth like Jesse, okay? It's not about that desire being invalid. It's about the best way to pursue that desire. And giving them a lot of attention only increases the reward for their participation. Remember when Libs of TikTok made a Blue Sky, which almost immediately got banned because Libs of TikTok very actively broke the rules like immediately. And that led to like a bunch of back and forth attention giving where Libs of TikTok over on Twitter was like milking a bunch of attention from it. And the people on Blue Sky were like, you know, feeding into that attention giving to no personal benefit. The types of people who do stuff like this can't be convinced. I don't think that's necessarily true. That's the main problem with Blue Sky. It's still in development. Twitter got big before the trolls. I suppose that's true to an extent. I don't know. Hopefully Blue Sky is able to keep up with this. It's just like, phew, you know? He broke Rule 2A. He was banned after being reported, but then reinstated after the ban because he has friends with someone on staff. Is it known that he has friends within the staff? Yeah? No, that definitely compromises the, aren't the Blue Sky, the people who run Blue Sky, aren't they like not even remotely left-leaning? Like Blue Sky wasn't made to be a left-leaning alternative. It was just meant to be like another tech bro build-up alternative, you know? Like it wasn't, I don't think there's like an ideological foundation here. Blue Sky was originally a Jack Dorsey project, I'm pretty sure. Is that true? Yeah, Mastodon is well, I don't know if it's woke necessarily, but Mastodon is definitely more. There's an ideological footprint there, right? Like some kind of grounding. He was involved and then left. Okay, now that tracks, Gayfesh. Again, for me, it's just about like scaling. The main issue, I guess, is that like, can you imagine what kind of like online left presence could survive one? Like you've got 25 million users and then one dipshit drops in and everyone like freaks out and jumps up onto chairs like they're a housewife avoiding a mouse. It speaks to a broader weakness. I don't think that you should like not ban people for TOS violations. It's more like the ideal response would be cultivating a culture and a community that is durable enough that even people like that don't really affect it that much. For example, if there was like 25 million Nazis or whatever in some off like Gab or some off Twitter platform, and then one lefty joined and the lefty was like, I think humans should have rights. Do you think like they probably wouldn't all jump up screaming, right? They would honestly, in a lot of cases, they wouldn't even ban you. They would just take a lot of joy in tormenting you. Like they would mock you ruthlessly. They would make your life, at least your life on that platform, miserable, you know? So, yeah, they dogpile you. I guess I just feel like that's a better default, you know, response, I guess. Yeah, they might even find it a little endearing, like their pet. You guys do that sometimes when chuds wander into site chat, you know? A chud wanders into site chat and I say, I won't ban you, and you guys are all like, new pet, new pet, new pet. Like, and this community is a little bit more durable, in at least with this regard, because we're constantly engaging with right-leaning stuff, and we do the, you know, at least we did the debates. I still debate you guys every fucking day about whether or not, like, Slay the Spire is a sequel or whatever. So, you understand what I'm talking about. I just think it'd be like a better attitude. But again, I don't fault any of the people who are upset about this. I do fault the people in chat who, the moment I expressed my opinion, bit my fucking head off. STFPFX or whatever the fuck your name is. I do fault you for that. He was right, though? Not really. I gotta say, over the course of my storied career here, there have been a lot of instances of people jumping to attack me because I'm like 1/10 the way through a point. It usually works out poorly for them. So you should, for like, you know, because you don't want to look a fool at the end. You should probably like withhold the derision, at least until I've gotten 50% of the way through the point. It didn't this time? You really don't think so, Dr. Strange? All right, well, I've given my point. I can't convince you. Well, you know, what can I do? Am I good to be derisive now? I suppose I've made the point, so you're free to, yeah? There wasn't even a point? Are you okay, there's a difference between disagreeing with me and pretending I haven't said anything. Come on, don't be stupid. It is entirely possible to disagree with what I've said here. Not talking to you? It certainly seemed like you were, but all right, I'll take it. I think this is part of a broader issue of the left looking for saviors instead of organizing themselves. I think there's some truth to that. Keep in mind, it's not all just the left. That what if 25 million people only posted ban Jesse Single for the remaining 2 weeks of the year or whatever? That was probably a liberal. But I do think there's like an underlying truth to that. Yeah, you should build like a durable community bond I don't know, just like blocking, ignoring. Do you have any idea how little right-wingers get out of a platform if everyone just blocks and ignores them? You know? Like, speaking from the perspective of somebody who is, at least as far as you all know, not right-leaning, but somebody who does do a lot of, like, content production that involves people getting mad at me online. In the early days, when I used to argue and tussle with people on, like, the left, which do you think provided me with more content to work with? When they would come on my stream, argue with me on Twitter, do big threads, whatever, produce content, engage with me, or when they'd freak out about me, say they should organize like the banning of me from social media, so on and so forth, versus when they just ignored me. Which of those two do you think gave me more to work with? Now, in my case, I'm not like a decrepit little troll. I try to engage fairly with what people say, but if a person despises me, like really hates my guts, and they stay quiet about it, that's it. I can't do anything about that. I can't even talk about it because they're not giving me anything to work with. But if they hate my guts and they post a, like, say, for example, 100 tweet long thread about it, just to cite a random length of tweets, then all of a sudden, I actually do have something to talk about. Singal literally linked pedophilia in Blue Sky. Asmelia, you're a respected member of chat, so the problem I have is that when people try to make a point like this, what I often find is that they overstate it in a way, like they're trying to counter my point. So I would look into it and then I would be like, okay, what do you mean? He posted child sexual abuse material on Blue Sky? And then you would go like, well, no, he linked to it, but he didn't post it directly. And I would say, wait, he just linked child sexual abuse material? And you'd be like, well, no, what I actually mean is he linked to an article that showed a trans man who was 15 post-top surgery, but he said that trans men are women, so that would be a topless woman by his ideology. So that would be hip. Like, and then I'm like, okay, now we're talking about something like completely different. You know what I mean? I've walked down this road before. What was I talking about? I don't remember. You were talking about Elden Ring? No, Asmelia, Dr. Strange. How about you don't? Holy shit, this is a long thread. Maybe even 100 skeets long. How are you liking Blue Sky overall? I haven't really, like, started to use it yet. It's not really interesting to me yet. I haven't done the, like, follow list stuff. I'm only following like 60 people. You see one of the Blue Sky devs followed you? I did not see that. Don't tell me who it is, okay? Don't put that evil into my world.